So this is cycle 2, week 15, number 164 bottle organ in your Van Cleves. And your supplies that you'll need, and I will bring for you, is a spoon and 2 glasses, or I'll bring you mason jars, and some water. And I'll probably put water in here in the morning so you don't have to think about it, but if for some reason it's kind of heavy to carry all the mason jars, then I will then just have a parent fill this up with water in the morning before you get started. So those are your supplies. I am just going to bring 2. If you would like to bring more, I don't have a lot. I don't even have any glasses. We use mason jars for glasses and everything. So if you would really like to make a long bottle organ where you have, because you can, but I'm just going to bring you these basic ones, and if you'd like to add on, you can. The purpose of today is to demonstrate how frequency affects the pitch of sound. So we're going to be talking all about sound and frequency and pitch. You know, pitch is higher and lower, how high or low the sound is, and how frequency affects the pitch. And there's not a huge experiment today. It's just a demonstration only. And so and it's kind of quick. So I put a video on here that I think explains it really well. And so you can play that for your kids. I try to kind of explain it, but I feel like the wording and gigahertz and megahertz and ultrasound, they were all these kind of big words, so I felt like the video did a better job of explaining sound and how this works for you. So watch the video with the kids. It's about 3.5 minutes long, and then that will be your research portion of the experiment. And then we're going to hypothesize, and we're going to talk about, you know, okay, so we're going to learn by watching the video that frequency is the vibrations that when they vibrate, it affects the molecules in the air, or, you know, in mass, and that vibration against the molecules is what creates sound. And we know that sound moves through all the states of matter, and you can review with the kids what are the 4 states of matter, which is this week's song, I think. Water, liquid, gas, and plasma. So it moves through all those and it creates sound. So what we're going to do is we are going to hypothesize the more water or less water in the mason jar, will it create a higher or lower pitch? So you'll have one with water. Just pour some water in there, and we're going to see how much, if you can hear a difference. I did this a little bit before, and I don't have a good ear for sound or music at all. So sometimes I'm like, I don't hear a difference. So just play with it. So start with a smaller amount of water and a bigger amount of water, and you're gonna, you know, asking the kids, you know, what do you guys think and why do you think, based on what you learned in our research portion, and then you're just gonna tap it, and you're going to see which one's higher and lower. Now, kids, do you think the one with less water, the pitch will be higher or lower, or do you think with the more water? And they're gonna guess, and then you're gonna do it. Okay, so the water, the mason jar with less water creates a higher pitch. Okay, so why do you think that? Why do you think that happened? And the reason why, so you can go through that, the reason why is because the more space in the bottle is more room for, or the mason jar is more room for vibrations to create more sound. Where this has more water in there, so there's less room for vibrations to create less sound. So then you can play with it. You can say, okay, well, what if we, can you make a match, you know? And you could do that. Oops. So they're not quite there. Or you can, one thing I found interesting is you could, this one is, you could, does the space you do it make a difference? And it does. And why does it? Let's talk about it. Well, because again, all those vibrations, if you do it up here, it's going to vibrate in a different way, and you know, and then versus if you do it out here. They might think, well, maybe the curve of the bottle is making a difference if it were a straight bottle or whatever. So, and you can kind of hypothesize and play with that and kind of create discussion with the kids and let them have fun with it. So that's all that is for the demonstration about sound. You can, the Van Cleves just has it like this, but you can do a bottle organ where you can actually have 8, because there's 8 notes on a music scale, and you can put enough water and you can like make the whole scale. So that is I would need a tuner to figure that out. But that is an option, but I'm just going to bring 2. But if you would like to bring 8 and then have enough water to figure out the whole scale, you could play Mary Had a Little Lamb, you know, whatever. So depending on how musical you are, you can do what you want with it. I'm not very musical, and I'll just create discussion with them, but they might think the little ones might think that's really cool. Be like, oh, that's how you create sound. And the video goes into explaining like musical instruments and how that. And then at the end, I have another video, and I thought this video was so cool. And basically, it is about, they have this frequency board, and they're increasing the megahertz, which is how you measure frequency, and it's creating, with the salt, they're putting salt on it. It explains all this in the video, and it's just creating these images when you watch it. So I'm going to show it to you, and I just think this is I'm going to show you parts of it. I think this is an awesome example. So as they increase the frequency, and they put salt on this board, so it's creating these vibrations. The vibrations are creating all these different formations. And I just think, what a beautiful picture of like God's creation and his like desire for order, and how he is just sovereign, and all these things that we don't even think about, but these frequencies that we don't see, and these vibrations and these molecules have order to them. And so I just thought that was a beautiful picture of just even seeing how great our God is in creating and stuff that we don't see, that God is still in control. So show that video. You can have that discussion with them about that. I think the kids will think that's cool. And then in conclusion, you know, you can read that, but I also have a devotional from Louis Giglio just about sound, and you can read that with the kids while they're filling out their science journals. And then, you know, they can either draw a picture of the 2 cups in the 2 jars in the science journal, or they can write out the whole scientific method. So you have about 2 videos this week. That one's 3 minutes. The other one is about 3.5 minutes. So you have 7 minutes of video. This takes maybe 5 minutes, and then your Louis Giglio and stuff. So I think depending on how much discussion you create, I think you may have little time left over to do your science journals, or but I think that should be enough for you. So thank you.